Welcome, mothers, to the first episode in our Diary of a Wimpy Kid Month.
Zooey Mama.
Zooey Mama indeed, dude.
Thanks, man. I thought we'd plan to do it like at the same time in unison, but
I was mid-sentence when you decided to say it. This is our first episode for February, which is going to be the first of 3 weekly releases covering the Diary of a Wimpy Kid trilogy.
This Diary of a Wimpy Kid month, baby.
Yeah.
We toyed with the idea of doing a Roderick month, so like Diary of a Wimpy Kid for the first 3 episodes, and then Oppenheimer.
last Devin Bostic month.
Yeah. Honestly, would be down for
I'm
that.
still not like... We could still record that. You know, like I'm still
do it.
There's still time to do that. I'm not opposed to the idea.
Or we do a Devin Bostic movie like month with his actual movies.
Yeah, so this is Devin Bostic light month, and then later down the line, maybe next February, we'll do
an annual thing, which just where we do like.
When's his birthday? I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah.
His birthday is November.
Devin Bostic month is November.
So we could do that in November.
Yeah, okay.
Intriguing. Anyway, we're making plans. So this month, well, for the next 3 weeks, skipping the fourth non-existent movie in the quadrilogy.
What movie?
Exactly.
There we go.
Where we'll be doing 3 weeks in a row of the 3 Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. These probably won't be as long as our regular podcast.
Yeah.
But they will be there.
Yeah, they will exist.
Yep.
And hopefully you like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, because if you don't, well, it
is required viewing to be a fan of this channel.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say.
Or just to be a decent person on this planet.
If you haven't seen Zachary Gordon and Robert Capron and Devin Bostic's masterpieces...
And Steve Zahn.
And Rachel Harris. Why do I know all of the cast's names?
Because they're iconic.
They are iconic.
They're iconic people and iconic actors.
These movies are iconic.
They are.
And so we actually... yesterday was New Year's Day. First day of 2024. And
we started off strong, baby.
We marathoned all 3 of these yesterday afternoon into the evening. It took like 6 hours.
It kind of did.
We started just after 3.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. And then we didn't finish until just after 9.
We did take some breaks.
We did, yeah.
To write down notes and stuff.
To digest the cinema.
To digest the cinema, this beautiful trilogy. It probably outranks all other trilogies.
I would agree. I think that this is probably the finest film trilogy in existence.
It's just the cinematography, the music, the acting.
The music I do want to talk about.
Yeah, I actually kind of do.
The music actually goes fucking hard.
It goes hard. It really does.
But yeah, well, we have lots to say. Not really. We have lots to say about these 3 movies. So let's jump into the first one.
Let's do it.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid came out in 2010.
I hate that.
Yeah, 2010.
That's 14 years ago now.
Yeah, it's 14 years ago.
Stop. My voice is breaking like Fregley's in the 3rd movie.
Want to see my secret freckle?
Don't raise your shirt up on
kids, if someone comes up to you and says, "Do you want to see my secret freckle?" say no.
I was going to say yes.
No.
Oh.
Say no. For anyone.
Yeah, that's probably good advice.
Yeah. Yes, it is. This is a good advice podcast, you know.
So yeah, it came out 14 years ago, and I believe both of us watched it in the cinema.
I watched all 3 in the cinemas, yeah.
But yeah. I remember, I think I watched this, 2010. I would have been grade 7.
I was grade 8, so yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked, dude.
Yeah, it's so long ago. Yeah, I think I remember watching it like just before... No, it was during school. Roderick Rules was just before I started high school.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that in the Roderick Rules episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great time. I enjoyed this movie quite a lot.
I enjoyed it quite a lot back then, and I enjoyed it quite a lot watching it yesterday.
I think I enjoy it more now.
I think I do too, yeah.
Because it's still a good movie, but it's like all the memes and stuff that's come out of it now.
I think that's one of the things that sparked us wanting to watch these again, because like that Total Eclipse of the Heart musical audition scene has become quite a big meme recently.
Don't call me.
The Don't Call Me has become a meme.
Don't come by my house.
That's from the second movie, in church, when Rowley's looking, like, waving and then, like, looks down real that's from the second movie. These really blended together.
Yeah, they kind of do.
Like, even though we watched them yesterday and I took notes on each of them, I still had to be like, what? what movie did this happen in?
Yeah.
I remember that the first one is chaos, the second one is a movie, and the third one is all about white privilege. So anything that falls into those categories.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all of the movies are about white privilege, but the third one especially.
We'll get to that when we get to Dog Days.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, so much happens in this movie.
There's a lot of
so much.
stuff.
The stuff I could remember, and we just finished the movie.
Yeah.
We just finished it, and I wrote down wrestling, Zooey Mama, the musical, the broken arm, the safety patrol, the devil worshipper woods, the mother-son dance, and I think I'm still missing things.
Yeah, we got the opening scene where like Roderick pranks
him. Yeah,
pranks him. Yeah,
it's actually like unreal how much happens in that movie. It felt like 3 hours.
and the cheese touch,
Dude.
How do you forget?
And the fucking like the bullies that are like following them around,
Yeah.
like Jesus Christ, so much happens.
That
in
was funny.
Jesus touch,
Yeah,
so much happens in that movie. Like,
good one, dude.
and so this movie was actually directed by Thor Freudenthal. Then what the hell?
That's a hard couple of words to say.
Imagine having a lisp and trying to say his name.
Yeah,
Thor
do it.
Freudenthal is his name. He also directed Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters.
Another great movie.
Oh, he wasn't high on my list of people who I liked.
But now he's way higher.
But interestingly, while we were watching this, I've been reading the first Percy Jackson book at the moment as a result of me really enjoying the TV series that's coming out on Disney+.
Yeah.
And like, this movie was made around the same time that the first Percy Jackson came out. And I'm like, man,
True.
Zachary Gordon would have made a great Percy Jackson.
He's a little bit too small, I think.
No, I think it would have worked.
Well, isn't Percy Jackson like a little bit older?
No, what's his face from the movies?
Percy
Logan
Jackson?
Lerman. He was way too old.
You
Way
reckon?
too old,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
He looks like an adult. Like,
Yeah.
the current Percy, Walter...
White?
Yeah, Walter White. Scoville, I don't know what his surname is. The kid from the Adam Project, who's currently playing Percy.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's great.
Even in some scenes, I'm like, oh, he looks a bit old. But, like, he's good, though.
Is that the kid that plays what is that kid in Shazam?
No.
Not the main dude, but
No.
yep, no.
He's
Okay.
not in Shazam, I think. I said that so confidently.
Yeah.
He's not... No.
Okay. He reminded me of the main character's friend in that for some reason. Good movie.
Yeah, it
anyway.
is, yeah. So I want to move through the notes that I wrote in
Yeah.
order. They're all a bit out of order, but like...
That's okay.
Men died during wrestling. So there's a scene early on when Greg signs up to do wrestling.
And Post Malone
Yeah.
is the coach.
The Coach Malone. And every time they said his name, I went, Post Malone?
Yeah.
It was very funny.
The whole room laughed.
The whole room.
Yeah.
So Coach Malone's demonstrating like some wrestling moves, and he's like, oh, assistant to like teacher aide, come over here.
Yeah.
And he like throws him to the ground, and he's like, yeah, and the guy gets up and stumbles, and then he's like, put your arm around my neck, and he does, and then he flips him over his shoulder onto the ground. That man is dead.
He died.
In the following shot, he is dead.
He's just like...
he is not moving on the ground.
He got speed takedown.
He did, yeah.
It's the speed takedown and the something takeover or something.
And Fregley, the wrestling.
Dude, man's strong.
Fregley,
He unleashed the beast on
Fregley
Greg.
is a beast.
Yeah.
I liked Fregley a lot more than I used to. Like,
Yeah, I used to think he was pretty weird.
yeah, but now I get it. Now I'm like, yeah, I get Fregley.
Why do you get Fregley?
I don't know, because I know people like that. You
Yeah,
know? For instance, you do give off strong Fregley vibes.
How do
If you had,
Explain.
If you had red hair, you'd be Fregley. Let's just leave it at that. So my next note,
Moving on.
Patty is a great character.
I love Patty.
Patty, like, and again, like when I was a kid, I was like, man, fuck Patty. Patty's an asshole.
Yeah.
But like, Patty's a great character.
Yeah, she's so good.
She's so funny. And she's got some real good lines too. And the
Yeah.
actress playing her, whose name I don't, she's like one of the only cast members I don't know the name of.
Of course.
Yeah. What do you mean, of course?
You know exactly what I mean.
Do I? Sorry, I don't know the name of this teenage girl. But yeah, Patty's a great character.
Yeah.
She was very, very well played. Very, very, like, she was a great foil for Greg.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, she's bratty, but I actually think Greg's worse still.
Greg, yeah, this is my note, is how narcissistic and based Greg is.
Greg is based as fuck, dude. He's like a
such
turkey.
sexist in this movie.
He's so sexist. And he's so, like, just narcissistic. He's so self-absorbed.
Yeah.
Like,
He's not like this in the next two movies, which is great.
No, they really amped it up in this one, though.
Yeah,
he's a
like-
trash person.
He's not a good person.
You trash, Brock.
You
trash, Greg. He, like, for real, though, like, some of his lines, I was like, dude!
Yeah.
I was like, what does he say that?
Oh, like he blames Rowley.
Oh, like...
He's just like, you need to be more careful about who you lend your coat to. And, like,
Yeah.
You're missing the whole point, dude.
Oh, and as well, like, just all of the little one-off lines when
Yeah.
Rowley's like, why can't you ride and I throw? And he's like, because I'm better at throwing.
Yeah, and you're better at riding.
And you're better at riding.
Yeah.
And then in the next movie, right? When Manny makes him the little ball, the spike ball, is that the second movie?
Yeah.
I can't fucking remember, dude.
It all blends together.
It really does.
Yeah.
And then, like, when they're trying to make the viral video and he puts the underwear on Rowley's head and he's like, why can't you be in the video? And he's like, because I'm not the one with the underwear on my head. And I'm like, Greg, you just put that there.
You put him on his head.
Greg would be a detective and he'd plant evidence at a scene and be like, man did it. Like,
Yeah, he's that kind of guy.
I solved it. Like, he's a trash person.
He's trash. At least Rowley like kind of stands up for himself. Like
Rowley,
definitely in
yeah.
the second half of the movie.
Yeah.
There's like this scene that we both laughed at when they're in Roderick's room looking through the class book.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, you can just give me class clown right now. And Rowley's like, don't you have to be funny for that?
I wrote that down as well. Rowley's a savage.
Yeah.
There are some lines in this movie that are so funny. They're like that come from Rowley.
Yeah.
They're just and that one really stands out.
Do you have any others?
I didn't write down any more. I actually just wrote down a lot of Roderick lines from the movie.
Yeah. He's the best character.
But on Rowley and
Yeah.
Greg, like their friendship though, and especially Rowley's half of it, because
Yeah.
Greg's an asshole. Rowley's like so wholesome.
Yeah.
Like
he's such a sweet character.
I fucking love Rowley. Like when I watched this in grade 8, I remember like not identifying with Greg, but you know, like because I wanted to be the main character. Because I am the main character.
You're the main character of this podcast.
I am, dude.
Yeah.
My name's first.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, you named it.
don't you have to be funny for that? But like,
Anyone who makes a podcast.
yeah, dude, we're about as diverse as these movies are.
It's true.
It's fucking true. We'll get to that in Dog Days. But like, it's yeah. I identified with Greg because I wanted like I was like, oh, like he's the main character. I should identify with him. That's not me being narcissistic. That's me watching a film and wanting to identify with the main character.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what all films should strive to do.
But this movie
except,
does-
like, Joker. But, like,
You don't want to be like Joker?
no.
Okay. Moving on.
I definitely don't.
You weirdo.
Although he is as much of an incel as Greg is. So,
He is an incel. The amount of time he's just like making sexist comments. Like there's that cut scene where he's calling Patty a fatty and a ratty.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
dude.
And I'm like, dude, she's literally just sitting there.
Yeah. She was just sitting there.
She was just sitting there.
She's justified for hating that son of a bitch.
yeah. I get happy when she, like, takes him down.
Yeah, she does the speed takedown.
Fuck yeah, she does. And she fucking pins him, and I was like, fucking kick his ass, Patty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love the scene, just like when it's like Chloe Grace Moretz's character. What's her name? Angie. It's just that scene when she's talking about the newspaper and then Greg's like, I don't want to be like write for it because I'm going to be in it. And Angie's like, you're the people.
Yeah, that was a cool scene.
That was a cool line.
Yeah.
I love
and
that.
she's like, you're the people. Got it. And then walks off, and I was like,
like-
and that just went straight over Greg's head.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn, that was cold.
And then he ends up on the front of the newspaper when Patty beats the shit out of him.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It's great.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
On Angie, she was not a character in the book.
No.
She was a new addition to this movie. And the whole time I was like, where do I know Chloe Grace Moretz from? Like, I know her as an actress. Like, obviously I know her from around.
Kick-Ass,
But
yeah.
I forgot she was in Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, I love that movie.
She's like the little kid with Nicolas Cage.
yeah,
in
Hit
that
Girl,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's fucking great in that.
Yeah.
That came out before this.
It did.
I think it came out in 2009, and this was 2010, so yeah. I think Kick-Ass was 2009, maybe a bit earlier. I can't remember.
I would have thought a bit earlier because she's like a lot older in this one.
She is taller, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's her character was interesting as like again, like as a sort of foil. Like Patty is like a physical foil for Greg, whereas like Angie's like more like an intellectual foil for Greg.
Yeah.
Which I really liked that dynamic of him just getting shit on in every direction.
Yeah.
And then her becoming friends with Rowley.
Yeah.
When they stop being friends, like. Yeah, it's great.
The movie does so well in antagonizing Greg.
Yeah.
Like, you're definitely aware that he is a shit person.
He's an asshole.
He's such an asshole. Like, the first scene when they meet Angie, he's like,
Yeah.
this chick's crazy. Let's get out of here. You're like, she's
so sexist. Like,
so sexist.
Like, just unnecessarily sexist the whole time.
And then Rowley's just a sweetheart. It's just like, this chick's cool. I want to hang out with her. And he does. And you're like, come on,
I found out, as we both found out before we recorded this just now, Rowley's mum is actually played by Robert Capron's real-life mum. And that just made the whole movie, like, retroactively, I think it boosted my rating of this movie a little bit.
With that dance scene.
Because the dance sequence, the mother-son dance at the end, when they're like... And all of the merch then that they would have had to make of, like, me and my mummy, like the shirt that Rowley has...
With his actual mum.
With his actual mum.
Yeah.
So that's really funny. It's not like in, like... You know, they just got like two actors together and they got like a photo to put on a shirt. Like, that's actually probably a photo of him and his mum outside of the context of the movie.
It's so awesome.
It's fucking hysterical.
It's fucking wholesome. Everything about Rowley and his family, except maybe in the third one, is wholesome.
Yeah. It's very... I don't know, like, they try to paint Rowley as like with his family, rather.
Yeah.
As a bit weird and as a bit, like... I don't want to use the word culty, but like...
No, that's the vibe. That's definitely the vibe.
The vibe is kind of culty, but like also it gets overshadowed by just how wholesome of a person Rowley is.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
Yeah.
I think that he is the saving grace of this movie.
The saving grace, yeah.
Well, in terms of like, Greg is such an incel, sexist, asshole piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, and Rowley is just like... just loves everyone, loves everything, is happy to be there. He walks in his like... what is he wearing from Guatemala? His sarabi from Guatemala. Yeah, and he like spins around and Greg's like, kill yourself.
He's like the doctor in Dark.
Yeah, and he paints Rowley's bike black.
Yeah.
And he tells him to like, and he's like, Josh, he says to respect your parents and follow your dreams. And I'm like, yes.
Then Joshy
must get beaten up a lot. Yeah, and he spray paints the bike black, and I was like, fucking hell, Greg.
Dude.
What an asshole.
And Rowley's such like a ride or die friend.
Yeah.
Until he gets like really fucked over by Greg.
That fucking scene, don't call me.
Don't call me.
Don't come by my house.
We're done.
It's
so
fucking
good. It's
iconic.
There's a reason why Rowley has all the iconic scenes and the memes that come out these days, because he's just such a great character.
He's such a great... And Robert Capron, who plays him, is like just...
The acting is outstanding.
He's doing such a good... Especially when Rowley breaks his arm. Like, because it's really hard when you look at kid actors in isolation. Because, like, you know, first season of Stranger Things, it's like just like the kids. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's fine. But then as soon as they interact with an actual actor, you're like, oh. And for me, it was like, you know, Zachary Gordon and Robert Capron as Greg and Rowley. I was like, oh, they're really good.
Yeah.
And then Rowley breaks his arm and those two girls come up to him and they're like, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm like, whoa, these kids are really good actors.
Yeah.
Because like these two other child actors who are talking to Rowley, they are fucking hot garbage.
To be fair, they're like very minor characters. Like
But still.
The rest of the side characters are great. Like,
oh, yeah. No, I mean like all of the other like main characters, I suppose, like Shirag and like Angie. Like, you know, like Fregley. Yeah. He's a great actor, by the way.
He's so good.
But like, all of them are really good, but anytime they give a speaking line to another kid who's not like a named main character,
they're just like
garbage.
Hello, my name is Kid.
Oh my God, what happened? When Greg walks up and he's like, hey guys, want to sign my sympathy? They're like, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fucking hell.
At least there's like some sort of concern the first time.
Yeah, but then the second time I'm like, I feel nothing.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple things I want to wrap up with Greg before we move on to the best character of the movie.
Yeah.
I'll just read through what I wrote. Oh no, I'll save that for then. The movie did kind of drag a little bit, but not in a way that I was bored, but just in a way that like it was like a fucking TikTok fever dream. Like the amount of shit that happened in this movie kind of made it feel like it was way longer than it was.
A lot happens.
Like a lot happens.
And like I guess it feels like maybe it drags. There's probably a couple scenes you could cut out.
Oh,
like,
big time.
You could cut out the dance scene near the end.
Yeah.
With fucking Rowley and his mum. But also, that's iconic.
You tell me to smile. You stick around.
We need to rehearse that dance.
That dance is so good.
Yeah.
That's so good. And then they're just like smacking their ass for ages.
There's a lot of
ass smacking. Yeah, dude. I warned you.
What was the warning?
You'll find out later. The lame shit that they do reminds me so much of how I was in my childhood.
The whole movie reminds me of just like things that happened when I was growing
being
up.
a kid. Like, this movie is a really good representation of that.
Yeah.
And I think they're like, one of the scenes that really did that for me was when Rowley was playing with his, like, you know, his new white best friend, like the really white kid who wears the sweaters around his neck, whatever his name was. And they're like out in his front yard.
Colin.
Sure. They're out in his front yard and they're like playing like make believe and they're out like pretending they're on the moon or some shit. And like, I love that.
I thought it was like a spy mission or something.
I don't know, something like that. But I loved that.
Yeah.
I loved that so much. And then for me, it was like the urban legends side of it.
Yeah.
Like the cheese touch.
Yeah.
And then being like, it was left here and some kid touched it and then it became like super cootie. What do you say? Nuclear cooties.
Nuclear cooties.
Yeah.
That's stuff that would happen like at our school, basically.
Yeah. And then also with that, like the devil worshipper woods, like Roderick's like, you don't know. And you think he's fucking with them, but then when the bullies are chasing them, they're like, no way I'm going into devil worshipper woods. And I'm like, this is like a
thing that
it's a community thing. Yeah.
All of Plainview knows about it.
I loved that.
It's
like,
so good.
I got such like a cozy feeling from those little moments because I was like, yeah, this is exactly what it was like to be a kid.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there was ever that kind of stuff that happened in Toowoomba, but you hear like some people come up with stories like, oh, you hear this happen or you hear that happen or something, or like don't go to that side of Toowoomba sort of thing.
I think don't go to fucking Harristown, dude.
Don't go to Wilsonton.
Don't go to Glenvale. But like I think that like for me, like the ones that I remember growing up were all like Pokemon based, I suppose, or Yu-Gi-Oh based.
Yeah.
Like especially like Mew 3. And especially, like, my dad worked for Nintendo. Like, that's sort of vibe.
Your dad does work for Nintendo.
He does.
Yeah.
He made Mew 3. I've actually got it on my old Fire Red cartridge.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's true.
That's true, yeah.
My uncle works for Nintendo as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's my dad.
What?
Cousin. I had to do the math real quick in my head. I was like, hang on.
You got there eventually. Imagine.
Hey, cousin. You need to watch The Bear, dude.
Yeah,
The Bear's really good.
Yeah.
You know what else is really good? Fucking Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah.
I really liked this movie.
I love this movie. It's very cozy.
Cozy is the best word for it.
Like the whole production of it feels very cozy. Like a lot of the scenes, like the school, especially the house they live in. The lighting, I don't know what it is about the lighting.
The lighting,
it just feels very cozy.
I agree.
Me.
Another thing that adds to that cozy vibe, I think, is the music.
The music, it is iconic.
The composer is Theodore Shapiro. Theodore Shapiro.
Okay, one of the good Shapiros.
Yeah,
okay.
He's not related as far as I can see. I'm trying to look at what else he's done in terms of like composing music. He's actually done quite a few movies.
What's he done?
Blades of Glory?
Oh, actually?
Wait, or is this him as an actor? Hang on, I don't know. Oh, no. This is him as a composer. Yeah. He did Blades of Glory. He did Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Oh, shit.
I fucking love the music in that movie.
I've never seen it.
It's very
good.
I've
heard of that movie.
Zoolander 2. Okay, he's done quite a few movies.
Has he just done like Ben Stiller?
Oh, he did The Mysterious Benedict Society. That was a great show. Severance as well with Adam Scott. Tropic Thunder.
Oh, actually?
Maybe he does work with Ben Stiller a lot.
He does, yeah.
Devil Wears Prada. Holy shit, this guy's done some stuff.
He's done some iconic movies.
Holy shit, yeah.
Diary of the Wimpy Kid's like way up there.
Theodore Shapiro, bless you.
Yeah.
Like, what a
bless
guy.
you, cotton socks.
But yeah, goddamn, the music is just so fun.
It's that main like piano motif throughout the entire film.
Yeah, it goes hard.
It goes hard. And every time I hear it, like it just brings me back.
It really does, yeah. And like that paired with Greg's voiceover, I'm like, that is like a killer combo for me. I'm like, man, it's 2010 again.
It's when it's like the intro music, or like the intro like cutscene where it's going through the comic book.
Yeah,
well, not the comic book, but
the drawings.
The drawings and stuff, and has like the Fox 2000 Presents, and then comes in with the book.
Yeah, yeah.
And has like the title on it, and it has like how all of the music swells up in that. I'm like, fuck, it gets me emotional.
Like it all like builds. Yeah, it's great. It's great music.
I love it. It's so good.
I looked it up. So Thor Freudenthal only directed this one, and Theodore Shapiro only composed the music for this one. The next two were directed by the same guy and done with the music by the same guy as well.
But it was a different composer for the
next two, but the same composer for the next two, but different to Theodore Shapiro. Yeah.
Well, I'm confused.
So Theodore did the first one, and a different composer did the second and third one. But it's the same guy.
Oh, okay,
for the second and third one. Yeah,
that's cool. That's good that he used like the same like musical motifs.
I looked it up because I assumed it was the same guy.
Yeah,
but like Theodore Shapiro built a great little built a great little bunch of music for another composer to work with. Sorry, I'm just getting notifications about I'm watching a first appearance of Mysterio in Amazing Spider-Man 13.
Yeah.
Graded copy, and I put in an offer, and the guy got back to me, and eBay's like, hey, come on.
You should
keeps like sending me notifications.
Is it like dropping the price a little bit or no?
Well, I put in an offer in it. No, it's just being like, hey, act fast.
Oh.
There's one other person watching it. And I'm like,
just one other person?
I don't know.
What if they snagged it before you got it?
Well, then it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'd commit crimes, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. It's perfectly reasonable.
But yeah, I think now that I actually think I've gotten through all my notes except for
I've got a couple,
except for Roderick.
Yeah,
who I want to get to. Do you have anything else to say outside of Roderick?
I think the casting overall of this movie is great.
Oh my god, Steve Zahn!
Steve Zahn. So I got a note about Steve Zahn, and I'll talk about him more in the next two.
He does the movies progressively feature more and more Steve Zahn.
Yeah.
So I was going to talk about him the bulk in the third episode.
Yeah.
Well, for the third movie, but
he's
how good is
great.
he?
There's because the dad is so, for lack of a better word, plain.
Yeah.
In the books, he's a very straight edge dad. But in this one, he's got this unhinged craziness to him. There's just something about him that's just crazy that only I think Steve Zahn.
And every time you see Susan speaking, the mother, every time you see her speaking, and he's standing behind her, he's always just looking around, he's not sure what's going on.
He's just
and he's pulling faces. He's like, yes. He's like, I agree with your mother.
Yeah.
And he's like your mother. Me and your mother thing. He's like, because we're a team.
Yeah. It's us against them. That's the second one.
Roderick rules, yeah.
Yeah.
Banger film.
It's so good.
But
it's just a lot of really good background acting from him.
Yeah.
That I love. And the mother's just so good as well. Just
Rachel Harris is great as Susan.
Yeah.
She's excellent.
And we'll talk about the next two in a bit more detail for her. But compared to the long haul, she's a very kind and understanding mother.
Yeah.
Long haul, she's trash.
Yeah.
She's so just, I don't want to talk about that movie.
No, well, don't then. You brought it up.
It doesn't exist. So.
You're like, man, so this movie, I don't want to talk about it. You brought it up, dude.
Well, I just wanted to use it for that point.
Yeah.
That she's such a great mother in this, but not in that.
She is great. I mean, even the kid who plays Manny. The little baby. The two kids. Oh, my bad. It's always twins, dude.
Yeah. Hey, man.
But they were great.
Yeah.
He's barely in this one. He's in the next two. Again, the family features a lot more.
Yeah.
In the second and third movies.
Which I'm fine with because this movie is obviously between Greg and Rowley.
Yeah.
And then that relationship kind of shifts a little in the next two. They don't focus on it as much.
Yeah, this movie is about Greg and Rowley. The second one's about Greg and Roderick, and the third one's about Greg and Holly.
Yeah, and the dad.
And Greg and his dad. Yeah, it sort of balances between those two things. And also then the fallout with Rowley again. Rowley can't catch a break.
Yeah.
That poor guy.
He's all right in the second. Actually, no, he sits on a metal ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't catch a break. But no. What did he do? Is this what you get for being a nice guy?
Yeah.
All right.
Roderick is kind of the last thing I wanted to mention, but then you just reminded me as well about the musical and Zooey Mama. Yeah. And how good is Zooey Mama?
It's great. It's
I
iconic.
used to say it so often.
I still say it at work. Something will happen. I'll go, "Oh no, Zooey Mama!" And
Zooey Mama.
Yeah, everyone starts laughing and
no, they don't, dude. Imagine fantasizing about human interaction like that.
Yeah. Oh God!
This is the only time he's allowed out of the house to record the podcast.
That and for work.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
I'm locked up on my room otherwise.
That is true.
No social interaction.
You've been a bad boy.
Okay.
Been a naughty boy? What do you prefer?
I'm not being a good boy.
You're paying, like, so.
What?
Anyway, so the Zooey Mama is excellent, especially as well because when I was in primary school, like a couple of years before this came out, me and one of my friends like drew a little comic together.
Yeah, I used to do that as well. Yeah.
Man, how often would you just like draw comics all the time?
Yeah.
Like it was so much fun.
I used to do it with the piranha plant from Mario.
Oh yeah.
Don't know why.
Cool. My friend back in primary school, he made a comic called Pajama Man, I think, and it was very like Captain Underpants inspired because we were into that. But like, it was great. And he used to. The thing that blew my mind is he used to like get A4 paper, fold it in half, and like staple it together like a book.
Yeah, I used to do that. Yeah,
and then he'd draw it like an actual. And I was like, man's out here making comics. Like
he's making content.
That's a real comic book.
Yeah.
Like.
I used to do that all the time. I used to like write like little stories and stuff, and just get A4 paper, fold it,
staple it, yeah,
or you get multiple pieces of paper and then
and I used to do the same with like gluing paper over like common Yu-Gi-Oh cards and drawing my own cards.
You're a shit person.
It was like fucking basic insect, dude. It didn't matter. But like, I used to, the comic stuff really hit me though.
Yeah,
and fucking Greg, like with the comics, how he's like, I couldn't think of an idea, so I thought I'd collaborate with Rowley, and then Rowley's is funny, and Greg's like, it's kind of shit. My one's way funnier.
Yeah.
And like...
He's like every content creator out there.
He is, man.
You know what I mean?
So narcissistic, so white, so sexist.
Yeah.
Like, racist in the later movies. But like, he's just a shit person.
He really is.
But then like, I don't hate Roderick. Even though Roderick is like displayed as a character that like, you know, he is like the direct antagonist.
He's meant to be like this dick older brother.
But I'm like, yeah, Roderick's right.
Yeah.
Like all the time.
Yeah.
Like absolutely.
Roderick is always right.
Absolutely.
That sounds like a shirt that he would get for himself.
Yeah. Psych, don't do it.
I wanted to get that shirt for the podcast, but
I like that shirt. It's hard over the holidays, the period, because like nothing ships.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on a parcel from before Christmas still. Like,
what did you get?
A comic book.
Oh.
Cool. But it's, I don't know, like, Roderick is presented as, you know, the direct antagonist to Greg, and Greg being the protagonist, in a sense, we should empathize with him and we should dislike Roderick, but this movie actually breaks convention in a really interesting way.
Yeah.
It's actually a masterpiece. But Roderick is great. And like the sequence where and just the way that the lines are like constructed.
He delivers them perfectly.
Like, God, he's fucking funny. But also like the callbacks when they're up in Roderick's room looking for the yearbook. Yeah. And Rowley's like, if he finds you here, he will kill you. Literally kill you. And then Roderick comes up and he's like, what did I say would happen? I'm going to kill you. Literally kill you. And Rowley's like, told you. Like, that's fucking funny.
It's good writing, dude.
It's good comedic writing.
This movie it's well written.
It's very well written.
It's good to see.
Who wrote this movie? I need to know. It was... Holy shit. The screenplay was written by Jackie Filgo, Jeff Filgo, Jeff Judah, and Gabe Sachs. Two Jeffs.
And then you have Jeff Kinney, who wrote the book.
Yeah, and Jeff Kinney, who wrote it.
Yeah.
Gabe Sachs and Judah. Oh my god, there are so many names here. Sachs and Judah also were writers on Roderick Rules as well.
That tracks. Were they writers on the third one?
And Jackie Filgo and Jeff Filgo, they were not. Jackie Filgo and Jeff Filgo have written 2 movies, one of which is, the first of which is Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah.
The second which is a movie called Take Me Home Tonight. But they're also former writers on That 70s Show.
Oh, okay, yeah. That tracks then.
You know what? No, I get that now. They were former writers on 1998 to 2005. They were writers on That 70s Show.
That makes sense.
Okay, this makes sense because that show's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
so, comedic writers, it's gonna be good.
And like some of the lines that I wrote down, the fucking when she finds the porn magazine and she takes it to Roderick and she's like, you're grounded, and he goes, whoa, settle down, Susan. I was like, ooh, I felt my whole body clench. I was like, nope.
Because there used to be like so many times where like if you called your parents by their first name, we saw another kid do that.
You're like shit.
Whoa.
And like she reminds me of my mother in a lot of ways too. So that like I had that, But then also when she's like, how do you feel having owned this magazine? And he went, ashamed. And he's like, that's the answer she's looking for. And then, do you have anything you want to say to women for owning this magazine? I'm sorry, women.
And the rest of the band just like
claps. And she looks and they're like, oh. But I'm sorry, scene. Women. Like, fucking hell. Devin Bostick is
he's
excellent. Great. He is unhinged.
He's unhinged. More so in the second one.
Yeah, we'll talk about him more in Roderick Rules, obviously.
Yeah. But it's like, it's all the fat comments he makes to Rowley.
Oh, yeah. Like, when he's like, move, hippo. Baby hippo. Get off me, baby hippo.
Calls him a tool at one point. What's the other thing he says?
He calls him another really bad name, but I was like, oh, dude.
It's like baby hibbo, chunky cheese.
Chunky cheese? Yeah. I'm like, dude, Roderick. This movie is quite fat-phobic.
Oh, yeah.
All three of them are, weirdly. But, like, this movie, and that was very 2010s of it. You know, like, that was very indicative of, like, what cinema was like.
Yeah.
This movie came out a couple of years after fucking Shallow Hal, which... Have you seen that movie?
No, but I know what the plot is.
Don't watch it.
I don't want... It's got George Costanza in it.
It's got Gwyneth Paltrow in it.
Don't worry.
But it does have Jack Black in it.
That's true.
And I do love Jack Black.
I do love Jack Black.
But this movie was very fat-phobic in places, especially towards Rowley. And I'm like, dude, it's not even that chunky.
I think it's old just to Rowley.
I think it is, but he's like... He's not even that big.
Yeah.
Like, not even slightly.
I guess compared to Greg, who's like a...
But then also, twig. Greg is like, literally like, looks like if he like fell down the stairs, his bones would snap in every direction.
He's a skeleton.
He's so skinny. Yeah. Like, in the second movie, when you see him like, I don't think you see him shirtless. Oh, you do actually.
You do, like the very start,
His chest is like compacted in because of how skinny he is. I'm like,
are you
dude,
okay?
Are you all good?
Are you being fed at home?
But also, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I don't care, because he's an arsehole.
He's an arsehole in this movie.
Zachary Gordon I care about. Greg I don't care about.
He's a handsome boy these days.
Zachary Gordon did age very well.
He does.
He actually kind of looks like the handsome older Greg. So in this movie when Greg's fantasizing about, like, I wish I had different parents.
Yeah.
No, when he's fantasizing about wishing that when he's rich and famous.
Yeah, and like that bully is
working for him. Yeah. But like... And it's like this like jack dude with like a real like chiseled jawline. Yeah. I'm like, that kind of looks like him now.
Kind of a little bit, yeah.
He predicted his own future.
Man can tell the future.
Well, he can. On his 11th birthday, he wished he'd get this part, and then he did shortly after.
Imagine wishing to be in Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
I would have killed to be in Diary of a Wimpy Kid at that age, dude. Yeah. You would have too. Yeah, I read the first like 8, 9, 10 books like when they were all coming out. Like I read them back in the day. Me and my sister I think my sister still got all of our books.
They're good. They're good books.
They're enjoyable.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we should move on to the second one now.
Right now?
I mean, like, do you have anything more to say about the first movie? I think that about covers it for me. We talked about it for longer than I was expecting to.
Do you want to talk about the musical scene?
The musical scene was fucking great.
It's classic.
The musical scene was great. One of my favorite moments in the entire movie is when Greg throws the apple and Patty catches it. That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah. It is terrifying. No, my favorite scene is watching that kid in the shrubbery playing Mario Kart.
That was you.
I'm that kid.
That was you.
Yeah.
You got Mario Kart the other day.
I did. I got that Mario Kart. I'm so happy. I was playing it last night. But yeah. What a throwback.
It's Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, okay. I'd give it that as well. Yeah.
It's a solid movie.
Yeah.
Not as good as the second one, which you need to tune into next week to find out about.
All right.
While you're here, though, make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram. We now have a Facebook page, as you will have heard. Stay up to date with our content by subscribing on YouTube. Hit the bell. Listen to us on Spotify, etc.
Watch our TikToks. We post reels sometimes.
We post reels more often than we post TikToks.
No. I post the reels. I post the reels on Instagram and on TikTok at the same time.
I don't go on TikTok.
Cool, thanks, man.
Oh, I just got a weird text.
Ooh, what was it?
I'll read it out on the next episode. Bye-bye. No, we're not doing that. Holy crap, Lois.